Right now, you are holding a piece of glass and metal that possesses more computing power than the machines that put humanity on the moon. Yet somehow a multi-trillion-dollar industry has convinced you it is basically a piece of garbage just because it is 24 months old. You do not actually want a new phone, a new tablet, or a new smartwatch, but your brain is being hacked to crave them anyway. In this video, we are going to dissect the psychological matrix that tech companies use to drain your bank account step by step. By the time we reach the end, you will not only understand the exact behavioral triggers forcing you onto the relentless upgrade treadmill, but you will also possess the mental framework to break free, keeping hundreds of thousands of dollars in your pocket over your lifetime without sacrificing a single ounce of actual happiness. Welcome to the channel. My name is William, and I spend my days decoding the intersection of behavioral finance, human psychology, and the invisible systems designed to separate you from your money. If you are tired of falling for the same consumer traps and want to master the true mechanics of wealth creation, take a half second right now to hit the like button and subscribe. It tells the algorithm you are serious about escaping the financial matrix. Now let us dive in. Meet Alex. Alex is a smart guy making $85,000 a year. He contributes to his retirement fund, he pays his credit card balances on time, and he generally considers himself financially responsible. It is a random Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Alex is sitting at his desk when a notification pops up on his perfectly functional laptop. It is the highly anticipated keynote presentation from the world's most valuable tech company. They are announcing the newest iteration of their flagship smartphone. Alex's current phone is exactly 2 years old. It makes crystal clear phone calls. It takes stunning high-definition photos. The battery still easily lasts all day. By any objective metric of reality, the device in Alex's pocket is an engineering miracle that fulfills 100% of his daily needs. But as Alex watches the highly polished cinematic presentation featuring sweeping drone shots of titanium edges and deep resonant voices, talking about neural engines and revolutionary machine learning, a strange hollow feeling starts to creep into his stomach. Suddenly, his current phone feels heavy. It feels sluggish. It feels obsolete. This is not an accident. This is called perceived obsolescence, and it is the most lethal financial weapon ever deployed against the modern middle class. In the mid-20th century, companies relied on planned obsolescence, literally engineering washing machines and light bulbs with cheap parts so they would break down after a certain number of years. But the tech titans of the 21st century realized something far more sinister and exponentially more profitable. They realized they do not need to physically break your phone if they can psychologically break your perception of your phone. Let us look at the brutal math behind Alex's sudden, overwhelming urge to upgrade. The new flagship device costs $1,200. Alex immediately begins to rationalize. He tells himself that he uses his phone every single day for hours at a time, so it is a worthwhile investment in his daily life. He softens the blow of the price tag by trading in his old phone for a paltry $400, bringing the out-of-pocket cost down to $800. Then the trap snaps shut. The company offers to finance the remaining $800 over 24 months at 0% interest. It is just $33 a month. Alex thinks to himself, what is the big deal? I spend more than that on coffee. Here is the big deal. The true cost of an item is never just the sticker price. It is the opportunity cost of the money you surrender. Let us project Alex's behavior into the future. Let us say Alex stays on this exact treadmill, upgrading his phone every 2 years from age 25 to age 65. That is 40 years of continuous predictable upgrades. If instead of spending that $800 every 2 years, Alex decided to simply keep his phone for 4 years at a time, he would save $400 a year. Now imagine if Alex took that exact $400 a year and invested it in a standard index fund, returning an average of 8% annually. By the time Alex hits age 65, that seemingly insignificant amount of money would have grown to over $114,000. Read that number again in your mind. $114,000. That is a massive down payment on a dream house, a child's entire university education, or multiple years of early retirement, all incinerated because a marketing department convinced Alex his perfectly fine camera needed a slightly larger sensor to take photos of his lunch. But the devastation does not stop at the phone. The phone is just the gateway drug to a much larger psychological trap known as the Diderot Effect. Named after the 18th century French philosopher Denis Diderot, this behavioral phenomenon dictates that obtaining a new possession often creates a spiral of consumption, which leads you to acquire more new things. Tech ecosystems are masterfully designed to weaponize the Diderot effect against your wallet. Imagine Alex buys the brand new phone. Suddenly, his old scratched-up phone case looks terrible by comparison. So he buys a $60 premium leather case. A week later, he realizes his old headphones do not pair quite as seamlessly with the new operating system, or they simply look outdated next to the shiny new titanium phone. So he drops $250 on the newest wireless earbuds. Then, because his smartwatch is now a generation behind the phone, it feels out of sync with his personal ecosystem. So he spends another $400 on the new watch. Alex started his day trying to upgrade a single device, and he ended up replacing his entire technological wardrobe because the presence of the single new item highlighted the perceived flaws in everything else. The seamless integration, the unified design language, the matching metallic colors, it all screams at your subconscious that you must complete the set to achieve harmony. When you calculate the opportunity cost of upgrading an entire ecosystem of devices every few years, you are no longer talking about losing $100,000 of future wealth. You are talking about sacrificing $250,000 or more to the altar of consumer electronics. The question is, why do smart people fall for this? Tech companies pull three invisible behavioral levers to bypass your logical brain. The first lever is the illusion of productivity. When a company sells you a new laptop or a supercharged tablet, they rarely focus on the raw hardware specifications. Instead, they sell you a fantasy version of yourself. The marketing campaign shows a ruggedly handsome creative professional sitting in a sunlit coffee shop effortlessly editing a cinematic masterpiece, or an architect drafting a skyscraper on a glowing glass screen. You look at that imagery, and your brain forms a subconscious bridge. You think to yourself, if I buy that machine, I will finally write that novel, I will finally launch that side business, I will finally get my life organized and become the productive genius I am destined to be. It is a brilliant and cruel behavioral trap. You are not buying a piece of electronics. Lions. You are buying absolution for your procrastination. You convince yourself that the reason you are not achieving your goals is a lack of processing power rather than a lack of discipline. So, you drop $2,500 on the Premium Pro model. You bring it home, you unbox it with a massive surge of dopamine, and exactly 2 weeks later, you are using the most advanced microchip in human history to lay in bed, scroll through short-form videos for 3 hours. The technology changed, but your behavioral habits did not. The second lever they pull is the gamification of social status. Human beings are deeply tribal animals. For tens of thousands of years, our survival depended entirely on our standing and acceptance within our community. Today, we no longer wear the pelts of rare animals or build massive stone monuments to signify our status to the tribe. We carry glowing rectangles. When a tech company arbitrarily changes the physical arrangement of the camera lenses on the back of their newest phone or introduces an exclusive new colorway that is only available on the most expensive tier, they are not doing it for engineering efficiency. They are doing it to create a visual timestamp. When you sit down at a dinner party and place your phone on the table, the arrangement of those lenses broadcasts to everyone in the room exactly how much disposable income you have, or at least how much consumer debt you are willing to take. The tech companies have effectively turned basic hardware design into a luxury fashion statement. The anxiety you feel when your text messages show up as a different color on someone else's screen, or when someone notices your phone has a slightly thicker border around the glass, is entirely manufactured by corporate engineers. It is peer pressure monetized at a global scale. You are bleeding your future wealth just to look wealthy to other people who are secretly drowning in the exact same consumer debt. It is a game of financial Russian roulette where the only winner is the corporation selling the bullets. The third lever is the engineered degradation of convenience. This is where the trap becomes almost physical. You might be incredibly disciplined. You might resolve to keep your phone for 5 or 6 years. But then, right around month 30, something strange happens. The battery starts dying by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The operating system, which just received a massive mandatory update, starts stuttering when you open basic applications. Your storage is mysteriously full, constantly nagging you with pop-up warnings. This is not a failure of your hardware. This is the natural degradation of lithium-ion chemistry combined with software that becomes increasingly bloated by design. The logical financial move would be to walk into a repair shop, pay $80 to have a brand new battery installed, and delete some old videos to free up space. But tech companies have intentionally made the repair process tedious, intimidating, and inconvenient. They tell you that third-party parts will void your warranty or compromise your security. They make you wait in line at a sterile retail store, only to have a technician look at your perfectly good device with a face full of pity, softly suggesting that it might be more cost-effective to just trade it in for the new model. They weaponize mild inconvenience to push you into a massive financial commitment. So, how do you actually escape this matrix? How do you step off the upgrade treadmill without becoming a total recluse living in a cabin off the grid? The answer lies in fundamentally shifting your financial paradigm from blind consumption to calculated utility. You have to build an impenetrable psychological firewall around your wallet. Rule number 1 is implementing the 90-day cooling-off protocol. When a new device is announced, the tech companies unleash a multi-million-dollar shock and awe campaign. They coordinate with targeted digital ads, mainstream media puff pieces, and an army of influencers who all drop their overly enthusiastic unboxing videos at the exact same minute. The goal is to whip the public into a frenzy and trigger an emotional, impulsive purchase while the hype is at maximum velocity. Do not fight the feeling of excitement. Acknowledge it. But make a hard, non-negotiable rule with yourself that you will not buy any new piece of technology until exactly 90 days after its official release date. By the time 3 solid months have passed, the artificial dopamine rush of the announcement has completely faded. The influencers have moved on to the next shiny object. The initial software bugs have been reported. Most importantly, you will be left looking at your current device in the cold light of day, and you will realize it still does exactly what you need it to do. Time is the ultimate antidote to marketing hype. Rule number 2 is calculating every tech purchase in hours of your life, not in abstract dollars. When you look at a website and see a price tag of $1,000, your modern brain just sees a random abstract number. It is easy to swipe a piece of plastic and make that number disappear into a monthly payment. But let us ground this in reality. Let us say you take home $25 an hour from your job after taxes are taken out. That new device does not actually cost $1,000. It costs 40 hours of your finite, irreplaceable life. You are literally trading an entire week of your existence on this earth, commuting, dealing with your boss, answering emails, and sacrificing time with your family just to hold a slightly brighter screen. When you force your brain to translate currency back into the life energy, it represents the desperate desire to upgrade suddenly feels completely absurd. You start to realize that extending the life of your current technology is not about being cheap. It is about buying back your own freedom. Rule number 3 is ruthlessly decoupling your identity from your equipment. The greatest trick the modern consumer machine ever pulled was convincing the middle class that what they own says something profound about who they are. The harsh, undeniable truth of behavioral finance is that absolutely nobody cares about what phone you carry or what laptop you pull out of your bag. They are far too busy worrying about what you think of their phone and their laptop. The wealthiest, most successful people I know, the ones who possess true financial freedom and unshakable peace of mind, are almost always carrying devices that are 3 or 4 generations old. Their screens might be cracked. Their cases might be faded. They do not care because they do not need a piece of fragile glass to validate their existence in the world. Their self-worth is securely tethered to their specialized skills, their deep relationships, and their growing net worth, not their screen time or their brand loyalty. The next time you are sitting on your couch watching a slick advertisement and you feel that sudden nagging itch to click the pre-order button on a device you absolutely do not need, I want you to pause. I want you to clearly visualize the architects of this system. Picture the executive sitting in a minimalist glass boardroom in Silicon Valley, looking at a massive financial spreadsheet. They are actively betting on your lack of impulse control. They have run the psychological algorithms, they have tested the marketing copy, and they fully expect you to hand over a massive chunk of your future wealth just to feel a fleeting 5-minute rush of dopamine. Are you really going to let them win? Are you going to voluntarily sacrifice your path to financial independence, your peace of mind, and the incredible power of compound interest, all to be an obedient, predictable consumer in a game that is stacked entirely against you? True power in the modern world is not having the newest piece of technology the second it drops. True power is possessing the psychological discipline to view technology as a simple, disposable tool for your own advancement, rather than letting technology use you as an automated teller machine. Keep your current device. Replace the battery if you have to. Take the money you saved and invest the difference into assets that actually pay you to own them. Reclaim your money and you will reclaim your future. My name is William, and I want to sincerely thank you for spending your valuable time with me today. If this video shifted your perspective and helped you see through the illusion of consumer tech, hit the subscribe button right now. It is your very first step toward mastering the psychology of money and taking your life back. Click on the video appearing on your screen right now to uncover another massive financial trap you might be falling for without even realizing it, and I will see you over there.